words. There's no wiggle room anymore. And that's not from people that are rich or influencers.
Not sure what's going on here.
This is from your everyday middle class Americans.
Oh, Casey, what are you doing today? Oh, I'm actually going to a job interview. Don't you already have a job? Yeah, but I actually need a second job. Oh, aren't you a nurse? Don't you have a career? Yeah, I do have a career. I've actually been a nurse for 13 years. But I am currently 12 minutes away from a job interview so I can have a second job because I live in a state with a data center, and that data center has run our electric bills up so high that literally in the middle of winter one month, it was $800. It was $800. And 2 months ago, when it was really, really, really cold, it was $400. And that was us not having the heat on. It was really just lights and, maybe TV from time to time. I don't have a TV in my living room, and I don't watch TV in the bedroom. So really, all I can imagine is that that's just the cost of living. So I guess now, as a career woman with a bachelor's degree, I have to have a second job, and maybe that'll pay for it. Oh, and also, do you know how much daycare is? It's $25,000 a year if I'd like to have a daycare that is open incongruent with hospital hours because I work 12-hour shifts. I love this for me. Yeah, this is not like a second job where I'm gonna have like all this fun money. It's a second job so that I can literally afford groceries. I can literally afford bills, gas at this point, and to feed my son. And maybe I'd like to sign him up for soccer. That's actually like on my list of goals.
I'm going to show you how much money I have in my bank account, and it's not a lot, but I do want to preface with this that a lot of people in America are experiencing this. A lot of people live like this. This is their regular lives. I am that family that makes just enough that we don't qualify for like food stamps and stuff like that. But still living paycheck to paycheck. Being on maternity leave, most places in the US do not pay you. I'm an elementary teacher in a public school district, and I get paid so little that my children receive free and reduced lunch. Having a job that requires a degree that I went into major debt, am in major debt for. This is what my bank account looks like. $6.84. We have a mortgage. We have 3 kids. Things are tight, we make it work. And this is what it's like for a lot of people. A lot of those lower, technically middle class, but lower middle class people, this is how we're living.
How does anyone afford anything in this economy? I don't know. I think the same thing every day. I think it's pretty much we rent everything. We don't own anything. Everyone's renting their cars, renting their apartments, renting their houses. Everyone has multiple credit cards. They're probably all maxed out. They're taking out loans. Pretty much that, or you're a prostitute, or you're a rich kid and your parents have money.
I am so sick of how expensive it is to just live. Before I left work, I had to make sure I bought tickets to my kids' musical for school. And I'm going both nights, and then my parents my husband's parents are going one night, and then we're going as a family one night. So I just paid for those tickets for all those tickets all together, it was like $62 or something like that, 62. And then I left work. I got my kids to school. I had to get gas. I was on E. My gas light was on. I had busy like for the rest of the evening. After I wake up after sleeping, so I was like, let me just do it. It just cost $78 to fill my tank. I do have a like a mid-size SUV. I have a Chevy Traverse. But literally before this day has even started, I have now spent $140. How the freak do you sustain life anymore? I don't know. It's so frustrating how expensive everything is. It's like every time you turn around, there's like something else to pay for, and I know that's being an adult, and I know that's life. But it's so frustrating. $78 to fill my tank. That's a record. That's the most it's ever cost me to fill my tank since I've gotten this car. I'm unwell.
Where are we reducing our spending? Because everything's up. Gas is up. Groceries are high. Everything. And we're saying we're getting more intentional about our spending. For me, it's going to be eating out. I'm only eating out once a week because it adds up fast. So, what are you reducing? Are you eating out less? Are you cutting back on subscriptions? Shopping less, traveling less, being more intentional about those online purchases? Are you skipping those little inconvenient purchases that could add up? What spending habits are you tightening up for right now?
I personally am tired of paying for things that are overpriced. So in 2026, we are cutting back on our spending significantly. And here is a list of things that we are no longer going to be spending our money on for this year. I'm not getting my nails done. I'm not doing it. I'm not going to pay over $100 to get my nails done. I value the service. I think it's great. It's something I just can't afford. anymore. So I'm just gonna have like regular nails. I'm gonna do my nails at home. Growing them out, just having plain nails, it's gonna be what it is. Cocktails at restaurants outside of happy hours. I am not paying $15 for a cocktail. I'm sorry, not when I have a husband at home who can make a cocktail at home for me and it will be just as good. It's just not worth it to me anymore to spend what should be what a meal costs on a drink, like a fun little drink. You know what I mean? And I love a fun little drink, but I cannot justify it anymore. Never paid for food delivery because we're like, we can just go pick food up, but we're definitely not paying for food delivery in 2026. We have the means, we have the time, we have the transportation. We'll be going to pick food up if we are ordering food out at all. But on that note, we are eating out a lot less. We are not eating out unless we have like gift cards and unless we have like Amex credits to spend, unless we have a deal, unless we're eating at happy hour prices, like we're just not doing it. We are only eating deals this year. Same with coffee out. We are not getting coffee out. Not that we really got coffee out that much to begin with, but I've certainly cut back on like the minuscule amount I was doing. Only getting coffee out if we have gift cards, and that's just the way it's going to be this year.
I got a video money too. But I got a camera.
We have a latte maker at home. If I really wanted like a nice syrupy coffee, I can just make it here. I'm also not going to get anything out that I can make just.
Why is this thing having such a hard time? Let's see. Okay. Just trying to run
as well at home. And so those two things for me are quesadillas. I can make.
I'm gonna stop this.
A bomb ass quesadilla at home, so I'm never going to spend money out on that. And
see.
Pizza. Honestly, there is one pizza that we splurge on sometimes because it is the greatest pizza in Richmond, Virginia. It's called Zorch. Look it up. It's so good.
It's not that.
So we will spend like occasionally, very special occasion on that. But other than that, we're not buying pizza out. I can make a great pizza at home.
Someone explained this to me. A husband goes to work in an office 8 hours a day. A wife goes to work 8 hours a day in an office. The kids go to school 8 hours a day. Everyone feels like they're in a prison institution between the hours of 8 to 5 under yellow fluorescent lights, typing all day long. Then everyone finally comes home burnt out. The kid has like 3 hours of homework and sports, and you get maybe 2 hours with your family before bed. And then we only get 2 days out of the week where we're completely free to do whatever we want. We used to be outside. We used to be farming, living in communities. Now we're in front of screens all day long, in pointless meetings with micromanaging bosses. I cannot tell you how many meetings I've been in that have been completely pointless. All of this could have been a 3-sentence email. I have 3 bullet points worth of action items, yet it had to be a 30-minute meeting. But nope, I have to spend hours every single day in pointless meetings. People in corporate, what else are we using other than fireflies to not crash out at our job?
Quite a few things feel off in America right now, and many people can feel it. They are exhausted, burned out, and stretched thin in many ways that really didn't exist not too long ago.
I don't understand how 70% or more of people are okay with working 40 or more hours per week, sometimes with 2 jobs, just to barely be making it, to have nothing left at the end of the week, be 1 week's paycheck away from total chaos, bankruptcy, and homelessness. Why are we accepting this? And I know, I'm just an average guy here in America. I don't wear a fancy suit and tie. I'm not being paid to manipulate you through the TV. Some of us out here have thought about what we can do collectively to solve this problem. And really, it doesn't involve violence. And that's a great thing, because what has history taught us? That doesn't solve shit either. That just makes the rich people richer and digs us in a further hole and keeps us right where they want us.
I'll tell you what, man, I'm about to the point to where I'm gonna sell all my shit and start living like the Amish. If the economy don't get much better, that's exactly what we're gonna do. Gas is too damn high, groceries too damn high, everything's just too damn high. It don't matter if you make $100,000 a year anymore. I mean, shit. It's like you making $15 an hour. You know? I mean, good Lord, man. Something's got to give. And you're going to have folks say, well, you got to budget your money better and this and that and other. And while that may have some, play in it, I will say, but good God, at the same time, you can't sit here and tell me that the price of everything ain't gone up. Because it has. I mean, this economy is trash, man. Well, you shouldn't have voted for the orange man. I didn't vote for anybody. Something's got to give. We got to do something. This shit's crazy.
Just 30 years ago, someone could be working at Macy's, marry someone who's working at Lowe's, 40 hours a week, get married, buy a house, and raise 3 children. The American dream, and pull that off in their late 20s or early 30s. Now, we created an economy where none of the essential jobs for Gen Zers can afford to have access to the American dream in a reasonable time frame. They might be able to save and get access to it at 57, but what the fuck? You want them to live in an apartment and sacrifice till they're 57? When every other generation before us got to have access to it in their late 20s, early 30s, if you f***ed up maybe late 30s, you shouldn't have to be a brain surgeon and a top YouTuber getting married to buy the average house and have 1 child. When just 30 years ago, a high school dropout who's like, I'm just going to live my life and get a job down the street could raise a family on that. That's
I'm just trying to figure out how my videos are lagging so bad.
Not get a decent apartment without paying thousands of dollars to live there, and I'm being told I don't make enough money to buy a home where I live, where I work, where I pay taxes. I can't afford to buy a house. I don't make enough money for that. I think it's just so sad and sucky to put so much work in to look up and realize you only paid bills and taxes and you can't afford to have something of your own without making a ton of money, which you should be able to make the money to live where you work and pay taxes. It makes me so frustrated to be a single mom, to be a full-time worker, to actually do well at what I do and still not be able to have things of my own because the area does not pay its people what it costs to live in the area. That is so insane to me.
Existing as a fully conscious individual with a fully functioning brain in the United States of America is an incredibly difficult existence. You are well aware, to the full extent, how evil, how sinister, how devious, how backwards this nation is. And once you have reached that level of consciousness, which really just requires some common sense, there's no going back. And from there, it's like, how do I go about my day, right? The days don't get any easier. The days don't get any shorter. You just have to function. You have to function as a part of something that you really do despise at the end of the day. All the while knowing how many other countries, many other first world countries exist and how different they are in essentially every aspect of the quality of life of their citizens. Here, it's backwards. And one of the biggest questions I ask myself, if I were the head honcho of a nation, right, a powerful nation, would I not want intelligent, healthy, capable citizens? But this country wants the opposite because you exist as a cog, you exist as cattle, you exist as a working farm animal, right? You have no purpose outside of that, right? These other nations, they want the best for their people because strong people make a strong state. Here, the state just does whatever it wants. So obviously it does not want capable, it does not want critically thinking, it does not want healthy people. And existing as someone who likes to live that way, it's tough.
I feel like I am stuck in an abusive relationship that I cannot get out of. I have to pay the electric company electricity. I have to go to the food store to buy groceries to eat and to feed my family, or we will starve to death. I have to pay for medical insurance so that if something happens, we're protected. Auto insurance. Because what if? What if there's a car accident? I have to buy gas. I can't just make gas on my own. I can't just make oil to heat my house. We are stuck because the only way that we will be unstuck is if every human being decided to do the exact same thing. Stop moving, stop driving, stop traveling, give up your vehicles, live on a commune. But other than that, there's no way we are getting out of this abusive relationship. And we predicted that this was going to happen and nobody listened. And now it's happening, and I just spent almost $4 a gallon for gas. And guess what? Oh, well, because I'm in my car, because I have to drive places today. I have shit to do today. So it doesn't matter if the gas was $8 a gallon. I still have to buy gas, and they know that we have to buy gas. We're cogs in a wheel, all of us. Working and working and working, and we're paying the government so much money to take care of us. We're buying things that we don't need. We're paying for things that we never asked for. And the things that we really, really need are not available to us. So we are stuck in this abusive relationship. And there's no place for us to go.
$1,500 rent is why people's grannies are sitting at the bus stop with their suitcases. Yeah, because their disability, their pensions no longer can cover their rent and their bills. It's not just young people who are too lazy to work. I rarely see young people on the street. It's all elderly and disabled people. They're clean, they're well dressed. I literally see stop her suitcases, and everybody's first reaction is to ask where's their family? Well, this is their fault. How they get here, and that's crazy to me. That is crazy to me. What makes you think that everybody has grandchildren? Everybody has immediate family in the States. Everybody can afford to move towards they can't. Otherwise, they would be there. And I just think it's crazy that people will fight against affordable housing just to be able to call somebody else broke. These celebrities, these apps have really messed y'all up in the head. Y'all have normalized things that are not normal. $1,500 for a regular apartment is crazy. That used to be considered luxury prices. Now that is the normal, and that doesn't scare y'all. And if it's not affecting you right now, trust me.
Hello. These streams are freezing up. Yeah, it's this guy. What's going on? Sure, why it's freezing up. Let me grab another video then. Let's go over here. Yeah. Go. Share screen. Here. Can't share screen video content. Local video. Everything's. Oh, put him up there. See how that does.
This is on the last video I made. Some of you guys said that the camera was a little too close, so I'm gonna show you what we got. A couple of you also said I need to take it home and weigh it. So here we go. 0 pounds, 0 ounces. 1 pound, 12 ounces. Let's take it home. So if you want to see the previous video that I'm talking about, you can hit the playlist at the bottom of this video. If you want to see any of the prior videos in Walmart, Publix, or Kroger, hit the black icon of me right here and go watch them. Before we get started, I just want to make it clear to anybody out there that might not fully understand the nature of the videos that I shoot. I try to shoot a video in under 5 minutes. I try to get in and out. 3 minutes of that is usually me evading staff, management, and getting out of the way of customers. If I'm lucky, I get 45 seconds to 2 minutes of chopped up footage with people coming in and out to try to make a video out of. So if I misspeak, or if I'm thinking out loud and rattle through the numbers in order, thinking that people are watching the screen on the scale and understand where the ounces and the pounds are, I apologize. I do not wish to confuse anybody. Also, when I go into a store, the first thing I do is pick out 5 to 7 items and I weigh them before I even start filming. If I find big discrepancies like the Kentucky Legend hams or many bags of these being off, I then weigh them again. When I start shooting and I'm recording, I'm actually weighing these for at least the 3rd time. I know the stuff weighs. I would not put out a video if it didn't weigh, and if there was some discrepancy afterwards, I would remove the video. All right, guys, let's weigh it. All right, guys, so here we go. I'm going to try to address a lot of the things that were in the comments, the questions, concerns, critiquing, and just suggestions on how we can do it better. Okay, first off, let's go ahead and let's calibrate it up. This is a 2-pound weight that I got from Walmart. If you saw the Walmart video, I used this. I got it from Sporty Goods. I actually purchased it. So there we go. We are at 2 pounds, right? All right, first, let's do it in grams. A lot of people said they thought it was hanging off because I was so tight on the shelving. So right there, that says trouble right away. 907, not even close. We're coming in at 794 grams, not 907. All right, let's do pounds and ounces now. I had to stand it on end, so it's getting all the weight. And there we go, guys. 1 pound, 12 ounces. So regardless of what this package even weighs, this bag is off by 4 ounces. That is not acceptable. As you can see, it's a lot easier to do things in a controlled environment. Speaking of doing things in a controlled environment, I found more. So we'll weigh these up in the next video.
See. All right. So go here. Let's go ahead.
These are things that I think are no longer worth your money as and used to buy these things all the time.
We are so excited to announce that the subscription that you're already paying for has not only gone up in price, now has features.
So it actually turns out I decided I'm not going to be going to the Super Bowl this year because $10,000 is considered an amazing deal for 1 ticket.
So today we're going to be going over some things that are just not worth the money anymore in 2026. I feel like I can make a video every week on this topic because there are examples that I find on social media of people showing how bad things have really gotten. We have a ton of stuff to go over today along with comments from you guys from previous videos. So if you want to be featured on a future video, leave in the comments down below. Let's just jump right into it.
These are things that I think are no longer worth your money as someone who is a millennial and used to buy these things all the time. Number 1, a coffee. Coffee, I remember, used to be like $3 to $4 or less depending on, the kind of coffee. Nowadays, people are spending $10 for a cup of coffee. Going out to eat. I used to go out to eat all the time with my partner. Between the two of us, it would cost between $20 and $40. Nowadays, if I want to go out for brunch or dinner, it's easily $100. The food back then used to be decent, and now the portions are smaller and more expensive, and it's just not worth it. Next, we're going to talk about tech. There's something called planned obsolescence. For example, let's take Apple because I have an iPhone. Apple will literally make you get an upgrade because they want to outdate your stuff so that you can spend your money and buy a brand new phone. I currently have the iPhone 14 and it still works, but I know it's not going to last much longer because Apple is going to force me to get a new one.
And they do this in a couple different ways, whether it's the battery life of the phone, just not holding a charge when it first came out, but let's say you go somewhere to get the battery replaced and you have a brand new one. Depending on how old your phone is, the apps that you use every day will just stop working one day.
Right. So let's see. Content. Right. Turn control. The live stream. Trying to see. It's not made for kids. See? Cheers. It's my stream. My thing officially froze the fuck up. All right, we're back. Computer might have froze up. Let's see. Go video. Trying to play clips that are relatable. Try this.
So what we're going to do is we're going to sign for Toys R Us to sell all of the land under every store they own in the United States. You know what we're going to have them sell it to? Our sister firm that we also own, that's our real estate investment trust. We're going to sell it to ourselves for cheap. We're going to lease it back to them for expensive. So now they have a lease they didn't have when they were still successful. So next, we're going to look at all their warehouses where they have backstock that carries them over in economic downturn. And we're going to sell that to a liquidator, all of the extra stock. And we're going to sell the warehouses. Maybe to our real estate investment firm, we can lease those back too. All of the infrastructure that Toys R Us had built over 100 years to become the successful powerhouse it was, they decimated in literally 2 years. And at the end of this, Toys R Us can no longer make their payments to the bank. So they're going to have to file bankruptcy. And then what's going to happen is all of the assets that Toys R Us have left, which is largely only the intellectual property at this point, we're going to have a fire sale. And you know who's going to buy it for pennies on the dollar? One of our sister private equity firms. And they're going to get the intellectual property, and then we're going to sell that to Macy's to use. And then we're going to go buy Macy's and we're going to start over again.
CPU's cranking. Half the memory's being used. Oops. Google Chrome's using most of the CPU and the memory. Yeah. In the stream.